One thing that has remained unchanged at Phoenix Contact since 1923 is our passion for technology. With new ideas, we turn challenges into opportunities and into solutions for the future. Phoenix Contact is a German family-owned company and global player. Thanks to our several development sites, 10 production sites and more than 50 worldwide sales subsidiaries, our solutions are always where our customers need them. The world is becoming more intelligent, more flexible, more digital. Today already, we're developing appropriate products and solutions. For example, web technologies and security mechanisms are already part and parcel of many of our products and manufacturing processes. Together with our customers and partners, we are helping to shape Industry 4.0, the intelligent production of tomorrow. Keeping in mind a sustainable use of resources and respecting the environment are priorities for us. Let's look ahead and shape the future together.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Energy Security Forum, Day 5. It is final forum of the year of Energy Club. Our team is the largest business community of energy companies in Ukraine, which creates opportunities for communication between the stakeholders of the electricity and gas markets. Today we're talking about all sanctions, our experience during the war and post-war recovery. We should finish by 11 o'clock. Let me introduce our speakers. Vladyslav Voitenko, First Deputy General Director of Public Joint Stock Company Ukrtransnafta, Andriy Bichkov, Director of Trading House Sokar Ukraine, Orest Logunov, Member of the Board of Joint Stock Company Ukrzaliznytsia, Viacheslav Steshenko, Co-owner of Claw Filling Stations Network. My name is Maksym Bielawsky, a leading expert of Razumkov Center and Vice President of Energy Club. The next speaker is Voitenko Vlad, and let's welcome Vlad Voitenko, who is going to talk to us today on the subject of the role of oil transportation system of Ukraine in the context of European Union energy security. Please, Vlad, your presentation.
First of all, let me thank you organizers for the opportunity to participate in this forum and to highlight the role of our company Ukrtransnafta as a national operator in EU energy security. Well, as far as I know, Ukrtransnafta is one of the major oil transportation company in Europe, and it has almost 5,000 kilometers of pipelines and more than 1 million tons of oil tanks capacities, almost 30 marine oil terminal Pivdani. It has 5 ISO certificates, and our company conducts the operations in accordance with international standards. We provide domestic and foreign clients with reliable transportation services over 50 years. Ukrtransnafta is also becomes an operator of the diesel pipeline transportation system of Ukraine. It has 860 kilometers of oil of diesel product tank capacities and 2 pumping stations. Due to strategic location, it has an impressive network and an operation background. One must say that the oil transportation system of Ukraine has a significant potential for diversification for sources and roads and for security of oil supplies to Central and Eastern European countries. And in light of EU oil sanctions against Russia, it becomes especially important to have such diversification in future. As far as you know, the 6 EU sanction packages against Russian Federation was adopted in June 2022, and it has become an important step to weaken the aggressor's ability to use energy resources. Among other measures, it foresees the ban of almost 2/3 of EU oil imports from Russia and temporarily leaving the shipments via Southern Druzhba pipeline outside the sanctions packages until the relevant separate decisions of the European Council. At the same time, in relation to those sanctions, there is a vital challenge for Ukrainian and other oil transportation systems along the Druzhba to facilitate diversification projects via this pipeline to increase diversification of oil supplies. For Ukraine, there is an additional challenge in connection with mentioned sanctions, and this is about prospects of diesel and gasoline supplies to Ukraine from European Union. Regarding the EU sanctions, the operators along Druzhba are ready to take now long-awaited diversification decisions. We are talking on facilitation of two major oil projects at Druzhba pipeline. The first one is transportation in batches via Southern Druzhba of various grades to answer different needs of consumers along the pipeline. And negotiation on technical and other issues for such batching shipments are expected to successfully complete in the nearest future. For Ukraine and its partners along the Southern Druzhba, the projects means more oil, more transit, more sustainability and security of supplies, and more diversification and competition. And the second project on construction of broader Adamov pipeline is aiming to at integration Ukrainian and Polish pipeline systems. It enables shipments from Baltic Sea via Poland to Ukraine and, if required, to Central and Eastern refineries along Southern Druzhba, as well as from Black Sea basin via Ukraine to Poland. Two sides, Baltic and Black Sea, strategic energy supplies and security arc, and facilitates implementation of other strategic transborder projects between Ukraine and Poland. And now on additional challenges for Ukraine related to mentioned sanction. The sixth sanction package totally prohibits from February 2023 from EU of oil products received from the oil transported via Southern Druzhba. Positive as such, this prohibition in the current wording would be counterproductive in relation to vital interests of Ukraine, which along with EU is supposed to be a key beneficiary of the sanctions. The Russian aggression on the naval blockade of Ukraine led to complete destruction of oil refinery facilities and of significant part of country's fuel infrastructure. It resulted into extraordinary crisis in the provision of motor fuel oil to the country and to its population. A completely new fuel supply chain from neighboring EU countries via oil product pipeline was set within a very short period. A ban on those supplies would have a critically negative effect on availability of motor fuels and in Ukraine and on its growing energy security. In this respect, we would strongly call upon the exception of Ukraine starting from February 2023 as an export destination for those oil products. It goes without saying that such exemption should be implemented under strict supervision of relevant EU authorities and within relevant reporting obligations of involved operations. Dear colleagues, let me sum up and summarize my brief interview at this forum with 4 key points. Our transportation system of Ukraine has significant potential and strong commitment for diversification of oil supply to Central and Eastern Europe. Current hardship and challenges on oil infrastructure markets at the same time open the window of historical opportunities for operators and countries of the region. To grab the opportunities, the key project decisions of involved companies and the governments should be taken now to start project implementation without any further delays. Ukraine not become an unplanned victim of certain provisions in sanctions package related to export from EU of oil products obtained from Russian oil received by Southern Druzhba. Thank you very much for the attention, and thank you for providing time in this conference.
Vladyslav, thank you for your presentation. Stay safe. The next speaker is Vladyslav Steshenko. Mr. Steshenko, please tell to us about your company's experience during the Russian aggression, please.
Hello, I will translate for Mr. Steshenko. He wants to say, he wants to greet everyone, say good morning. And the first thing he wants to stress is...
Hello. Мы локальная компания, Киев и Киевская область.
We're not a big company, we're local, so we cover Kiev city and the Kiev district, Kiev surrounding Kiev areas.
75 заправок.
We have 75 petrol stations.
Из них 35 в Киеве.
We have 35 petrol stations in Kiev and 40 more in Kiev region.
Да. Так получилось, что мы на третий день войны ракета прилетела к нам на нефтебазу.
So it happened like it was just the third day of a war, and the rocket just hit the base, our base.
Да. И нефтебаза сгорела в течение 6 суток, полностью вся выгорела.
The fire lasted for 6 hours and 6 days, yes, 6 days, and now our base just totally destroyed.
На третий день войны, в принципе, в том регионе, где она горела, это город Васильков, действовали много групп ДРГ, и пожарные не смогли туда подъехать.
Next to Kiev, there is a town named Vasilkov, so the situation was very tough. That's why fire trucks and firemen, they couldn't reach the area. That's why the fire lasted for 6 days and it totally burned out.
Вообще в первый месяц войны, и март и апрель, было подорвано ракетами 28 нефтебаз, порядка 28 в Украине.
So into the first period of 2 months, when the war started,
28.
The total amount, about 28 bases with petrol, was destroyed.
Да, так как в войне есть 3 вещи: вода, еда и топливо. Если у тебя одной из вещей нету, ты проиграл в войне изначально.
If we are talking about the war, there are 3 main things: food, water, and gasoline. If you are losing one, if you will cause the collapse in one of these things, we can think that the war is over and you lost.
У нас было 2 вещи точно. С топливом у нас начались нехватка топлива, особенно в столице.
We had a huge problem with petrol, with gasoline, and especially in Kiev, it was a big.
Потому что вся логистика в столице до этого строилась просто и понятно. Это вверху Латвия, Литва, которая транзитилась через Белоруссию. Белорусский продукт еще был, ну и чуть-чуть российского был продукт, который все равно был ближе по логистике к Киеву.
So before the war started, we had one chain. It started from Lithuania and Latvia. So this way of transit was coming through the Belarus, and then it was coming to Ukraine. That's how we were receiving petrol. There was one more way from Russia.
И в один момент нам надо было перестраиваться на запад. И весь продукт тянуть оттуда. Откуда мы вообще никогда до этого не тянули, потому что до Киева это логистически невыгодно было.
So we had 2 ways of transportation, through Belarus and through Russia. When the war started, we were very frustrated as we couldn't get fuel from this direction. That's why we were in the situation when we had to rebuild all the logistics, and we had to find a way how to get petrol from EU, European Union.
Да, и в принципе это вся страна туда направилась, получать оттуда продукт. Мы первыми столкнулись с тем, что наши бензовозы не предусмотрены для нижнего налива. И страна быстро интегрировалась, за 2 месяца переварили бочки, накупили бочки, накупили бензовозы. И мы за 2 месяца интегрировались вообще в систему Евросоюза и брали уже оттуда топливо, потому что больше брать нам было нет.
We were in a very stressful situation. All the companies, they started to look at European Union, and we had to rebuild the whole transportation logistic. That's why we had to start using oil trucks. And the first main problem was that we need that our oil trucks, they were different, because like how to put oil into the trucks, we had to rebuild our trucks that we could fulfill them with petrol, but we managed to do it in short time.
На сегодняшний день у нас весь парк бензовозов заезжает в Европу, Евро-5. Мы спокойно заезжаем на любую нефтебазу, соответствуем всем европейским экологическим нормам. К сожалению, так как море закрыто, то действительно это все было только траками. Железная дорога есть, но у нее есть минусы, потому что узкая колея и широкая колея.
So hopefully we couldn't manage it, and now our trucks, they could come to Europe, to any base, any where we can fulfill them with petrol, and we can easily do it. But unfortunately, the sea is closed. We can't use the sea and oil tankers. This way is not available for us. About railway, as you know, it's quite different in Europe and Ukraine. So you can just get from Europe to Ukraine, because the size of the railways is different. That's why it takes time to move it from European Union to Ukraine. It's a problem.
На этом этапе действительно сразу с первых дней была создана правительством группа, которая осуществляла, рабочая группа, которая занималась тем, чтобы думала, как снабдить максимально быстро страну топливом.
The government decided to create a group, and this group of people from different fields, they had to solve this issue. They had to find a way how to supply Ukraine with the amount that we need here, and to prevent this critical situation and to get enough petrol here in Ukraine.
Которая объединила с собой разные министерства, Министерство экономики, и, соответственно, оттуда были включены разные министерства, плюс все операторы рынка. И это как бы координация шла каждый день вначале, потом 5-6 раз в неделю.
It was 24 hours job. Representatives from different ministers, they created a group and they worked 24/7 just to solve this problem and somehow to build a new way of supplying Ukraine with fuel, with petrol.
Следующим вызовом был, где хранить это топливо так, чтобы это не было мишенью для очередных атак врага.
The second very important thing was how to find places, safe places where we can store, where we could store fuel, petrol, and as you know, Russians, they were always looking to find this place and hit them. That's why we had to think how to find safe places to store.
Да, были найдены куча ресурсов и резервов для того, чтобы размазывать этот объем тонким слоем по всей стране, и для того, чтобы не было концентрации в одном или двух местах какого-то большого объема.
We couldn't store it in one place, as you can understand. We had to find many options, many places where we could store little amounts. We couldn't make it easier and store it in one place, everything in one place. That's why we've been searching for many different places where we could store not big amounts of petrol.
Ну, в том числе и на колесах, и в бензовозах, и т.п. Один из альтернативных поставок путей. Это оказалась давно забытая река, такая Дунай, и два порта, которые там существуют, и баржевые поставки. Это альтернативный путь сухопутному, который у нас был. Страна начала развивать и там. Это всю историю получает товар с Черного моря.
Situation was really serious. That's why sometimes we could just store it in oil trucks in different places. So the next direction, how we tried to solve this problem, we started to look at Donau River, and some infrastructure that wasn't used. It was kind of abandoned. We had to renew it and use the Donau River, and it was one more alternative way to get fuel from EU. And we used barges to deliver petrol.
По моим оценкам, автомобильный парк в стране за счет этой всей истории вырос где-то в раз 5, то есть на колесах, цистерны и траки мы имеем сейчас действительно большой парк. Плюс еще мы, как разные компании, докупали баржи. Тупо покупали их в Европе, чинили их, и на сегодняшний день флот у нас еще баржевый большой.
So from the first day of the war, we had to increase the number of oil trucks. We have 5 times more than we had at the beginning of the war. Now we had 5 times more. It's much better. And the other thing, we bought some barges for transportation.
Таким образом, мы, в принципе, вышли из кризиса и имеем, в принципе, очень неплохой баланс на сегодняшний день. Топливо. Но следующий вызов у нас на сегодняшний день — это генераторы, которые враг пытается нас добить уже там, нашу энергосистему, и мы переходим на работу с генераторами, и это повышает спрос в стране. Поэтому мы дальше двигаемся, не останавливаемся, и мы это поборем тоже.
So luckily, with our hard job, we could solve this crisis, and we sort things out. In some period, we had enough oil here, and we don't have any shortages, and we even have some savings. It's not a problem, but now we have a new thing. As you know, Russia is trying to cut off Ukraine from electricity. That's why people are buying generators, as you know, to provide electricity, and people will start buying fuel to produce electricity with help of generators. That's why the consumption of fuel will increase again.
Да, поэтому на сегодняшний день мы что делаем? Мы реконструируем те заправки, которые были у нас подбиты, 3 были в оккупации, все 5 прямых поданий, 3 в оккупации у нас еще были заправки, и мы потихонечку их восстанавливаем. Некоторые запустили сразу в таком регионе, как Ирпень и Буча, как только их освободили. То есть даже в том виде разобранном, потому что людям надо было сразу давать ток.
3 of our petrol stations were under the occupation. They were destroyed, but we reconstruct them, we rebuild them, they are functioning, so they are working. We had 3 of them, we had 75, 3 of them were under the occupation, destroyed in Irpin and some other towns next to the Kiev. That's is our job right now, to reconstruct them and to make them work for people in that areas.
Мы считаем, что рынок на сегодняшний день просел на 40 или 50%. но с окончанием войны мы видим, как люди готовы возвращаться в Киев и развивать его, отстраивать и двигаться дальше. Поэтому я думаю, мы вернемся к той же динамике довоенной, которая у нас была, и будем развиваться, если есть, мы будем развиваться, у нас выхода нет.
At the moment, the market of petroleum is decreased by 50%. The amount of petroleum that we sell, it's like 50% lower than it was before war. But as we can see, people are getting back to, especially to Kiev, and more and more people, and we think that consumption will rise to the previous, to the pre-war situation soon. And it's just a matter of time. As the war is coming to the end, or the situation is getting better, the consumption will be the same as it was before the war. Thank you for your attention.
Mr. Steshenko, many thanks for you and your team. Good job. Please tell to us some words about forecasts. Could there be a shortage of petroleum products at the European market in Q1 2023, please?
Чи можете, яке ваше передбачення на майбутнє? Чи вважаєте ви, чи будуть знову недостача палива у майбутньому?
Я думаю, что вот к этим вызовам уже более-менее готовы на сегодняшний день. И я думаю, что не будет такой тотальной недостачи, которую мы наблюдали в марте месяце, когда начало только войны.
The situation was very difficult in March. At the moment, as I can see, I can't really foresee, but my opinion is we're not gonna meet up with new shortages. If we are going to have any problems, we have experience how to deal with it, and I think we will be able to manage it.
Mr. Steshenko, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Stay safe, stay together. Let us welcome Andrei Bichkov. Mr. Bichkov, please tell to us about your company's experience during the Russian aggression tour. I would like to finish our discussion with Orest Logunov. Mr. Logunov, what do you think about oil sanctions and price cap to Russia's oil?
This is probably one of the hardest questions to answer. The intention was to limit as much as possible profitability of Russians. However, this move have a flip coin, and this might impact in a short term deficit. As you know, they ban oil from 5th of December, and later on in Jan they ban all oil products, diesel, gasoline, whatever, petrol. So that particularly second move can be really hard to manage. Because there could be some seasonal shortage in that period, and we expect we don't really can say 100% like assurance, but we talk directly to ExxonMobil, we talk directly to Orlen Poland, we talk to big market players, let's say, who are extremely careful in allocating their volumes on December and January. So that means that they smell some risks on that perspective. And if you combine that kind of risk together with what our Russians are doing now in Ukraine, the consumption is jumping. It's jumping like, I will give you some kind of some kind of flavor that the major market players here on Ukrainian market, they estimated like 30% jump in consumption. It's quite big. This will push the prices up. Okay, combined together with this 5 December story and January story, we still expect 2 big attacks from Russians on our soil, that they will do their best to destroy the electricity infrastructure, which is still connected with the diesel consumption, since people using like big network department stores, households, whatever, they're using diesel to, and benzene and gasoline, of course, but diesel, most likely it is diesel story. So these 2 factors, they push the price up, they push deficit, and this may end up with the like ideal storm for Ukraine in January. Yeah, the risk is there. I cannot tell you for 100%. I'm sure this will be materialized, because it depends on lots of factors which I don't control, out of my control. I don't know how can be how good we can defend ourselves, how good we can repair ourselves in terms of electricity. But I feel this kind of moves, like let's give you example on my own company. I've got now 700 magistral electro locos in company. Out of this 700, it used to be 550 was run on electricity. So rest is diesel. And now it's minus 100. So this diesel, when the trend with people like we got some stoppage in the middle of nowhere because of electricity blackout, we have to send a diesel local to collect people, to bring it to the near station and to move on. So it's minus hundreds within last couple of days. And that means that my consumption of diesel and I'm the biggest diesel buyer. If you consider it's like one sole company that is buying for their own needs, we are number 1 in the country who buys the diesel. So that move only can jump our consumption, not 30%. So far it is around 30%, but it could be doubled, really, if not tripled. If the total blackout, we believe that we will run 100% of our trains on the diesel, and this jump will be very big to the country and to my company, to our expenses, because electricity is still cheaper than diesel. So coming back to your question, these 2 factors which I described, they are like I would call them pro-deficit factor. And I don't see any fundamental factors, unless Americans are playing very hard game, which I don't see, that will really help us in the short term. In the long run, I agree, these sanctions, they're okay. This is very right thing to do, and this is really hard strike in the heart of our enemy. But the timing for that, I'm still kind of I would make it in winter, in springtime or summertime, to release the pain, not in the time where we have this kind of challenges in our country. That's all from my side.
Mr. Logunov, thank you for your statement, participation, and job. Thank you. Many thanks for your team, for your company. Okay, thank you, everybody. Our panel discussion is finished. I was glad to see everyone. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay with Energy Club. Good luck.
Automation is a core element of sector coupling. It requires all machines, devices, sensors, and actuators to be networked into an industrial Internet of Things. Here, single pair Ethernet or SPE, ensures consistent communication. Compared to classic Ethernet, SPE has great advantages when it comes to data cabling. Just one wire pair instead of up to 8 wires, which saves resources and enables cabling in the tightest of spaces. A range of up to 1,000 meters for efficient transmission concepts right through to the field level, and easy network extension. Phoenix Contact provides a comprehensive product portfolio for the integration of single-pair Ethernet into the broadest range of automation applications.